Joseph Campbell's book, Pathway to Bliss, and he was literally talking about how from the second as men we've been like put into schooling systems to like, and the religions and beliefs and stuff that we've been aware of in the Western world is there's no feminine symbol. Like if you think about Christianity and stuff, there's no like big feminine symbol. When in every other like religion, there's like, it has the Mother Earth, there's Hera for Zeus, for whatever it is. And for people, it shows up in a lot of different countries as like men lack the feminine side, or they don't accept it within themselves. So many men out there have like a really great feminine energy in terms of, and feminine energy is just being able to create, being able to feel, being able to love, being able to find your purpose, being able to write stuff down. Like you probably wouldn't realize when you're writing stuff down, it's like feminine energy is flowing, bro, and it feels amazing. It's what charges us up. The reason like we actually enjoy anything that we do, otherwise you just become like a like
you've got to spot on because that exactly is what I'm trying to bring out, because not everyone can understand that. I don't know if it's like the different cultures that, you know, other cultures are very like the roles of male and female, there's an imbalance sometimes, you know, and that might stigmatize the idea of like men have to be vulnerable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not even, it's like vulnerability is, I believe is definitely one part and you're 100% correct, but there's so much else there.
Yeah.
Like so much. And when you understand that your entire shadow side comes from the anima, blows your mind. So if you've got a positive relationship with like your mum, for example, symbolism, mum, mother, but most people, it's like our mum. If you have a really positive relationship with your mum, you're a little bit insensitive about things. Like you're a little bit too sensitive. You're a little bit dependent on other people with things, and you get a little bit more attached to stuff. If you've had a very negative relationship with your mum, this is generally Carl Jung stuff. If you've had a very negative relationship with your mum, you're going to show up as someone who is a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more touchy and a little bit more oomph to them, a little bit more aggression, which is really funny. And you listen to that and it's like, well, that's like your dark side and what you need to integrate. And when you do integrate it creatively is where you will find a lot of fulfillment. So for people who, let's say, for example, have a real bad relationship with their mum, they could find like creative energy through martial arts or something like that. For other people who have had like a real positive relationship with their mum, it could be through, you know, writing, poetry, creating music, creating something digital, art, like whatever it is, just as like main things. Now I've had like both. I've had a really good and a bad relationship with my mum.
Same.
So
Dude, I feel that. That's wild.
I'll go both.
Yeah, that's so good.
You know what's crazy? Me myself, like I left my parents at the age of 4. I haven't seen them since. I'm turning 24. So basically, I've endured and learned from my outside experiences. I've been an observer. Yeah.
I've got a really good question to ask you because I think about this a lot, especially for people who like haven't had that experience of like parents for a long period of time, because I talk about this a lot. You can see I'm quite passionate about it because I work for this a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs. And like, where was the symbols for you of like mother and father? Like, where did you find that? Because some people it was like grandparents, other people it was like people that took them in or whatever it was. But for you, it could have been something completely different. Like, where was the mother and father symbolism for you?
Yep. You know, the crazy thing is, for me, that symbolism came from a source that I couldn't understand, because I felt like there was a voice within that was guiding me through different situations, you know, and I called it divine intervention. And the divine intervention is when God interferes in your affairs, you know, affairs of humans. And the funny thing is, when I finally got to speak with my mother, she was like another version of me, but it was like we were best friends for years, and she was like a better version. So that's that living force that's not known. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, I know what you mean. Yeah. I was just reading today on some of Joseph Campbell's stuff, and it was crazy. And he was talking about the difference between stereotypes and imprinting. And he used this example of a baby chicken, like a baby chook. Like if you take that out, like literally just been hatched, and you get a hawk flying over its head, they'll run around and look for safety. If you get a pigeon and have it flying over its head, it'll chill. Like it knows the difference between like what's what.
Instincts.
Yeah, like full instincts, but what, like it's a little bit different because you've got the symbolism of the eagle, which could be for some people a certain stereotype. Like it could be like, oh, that's going to happen. And for you, like in that stage, I believe that's sort of like an imprint. Like it's just a thing that'll never change.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The divine intervention in your adversity. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's a weird experience when you get like in touch with your creative side and in touch with God, and you find that like life flows through you, and it's just like you are delivered message. Like, have you ever had when meditating? It's like a download.
Just like my whole program is based off that.
Just downloading, just getting in touch with the divine and downloading.
Well, so I think like everyone has their own sort of way of being able to channel it. One of the things for me is talking to people because I make a lot of connections. Like even through here now, like I've learned heaps from you, so thank you.